Boxing Lowdown, and welcome to another edition, a special edition of the TBL podcast today. This guy that I've got sitting right next to me, we go a long way back, man. Literally a long way back, me and this guy. Now, to give you guys a little history lesson, when I first started out boxing back in Lucy, ABC, I walked into the gym, saw this guy, and we hit it off ever since, man. We've been plenty around sparring together, we've trained together, and also went up to Shamrock, we trained up there, but we kind of went our separate ways as we got older. I moved up to Nottingham to do my university degree, ended up boxing in the Phoenix gym, and Blaine carried on boxing and eventually turned professional. So, just to give a brief overview of your career and how it went, can you just let the people know how you got into boxing and how it started, pretty much?
Yeah, I started boxing when I was 11 years old. I used to, like most kids, I started playing football and that. Fed up like being sub all the time. Standing there and then freezing mornings like the weather outside. No, it wasn't really fun. I decided that I'd try. Well, I didn't decide. My dad decided I would try something different. He took me to Lucy Boxing Club, and the thought at first was like, "Oh, I'm going to boxing." No, please don't. But when I went to the gym, I just felt at home. I never missed a session in the first 3 years. I was always there, getting the time from the coaches, who I'm grateful for. At Lucy it was. Everything, my life changed. It was everything I'd done was boxing related. That's the way I wanted to be. I met some great people in there, like yourself. It's just, I love being around it. With that, I had my first fight over after 1 year of training, which I felt, at the time I was impatient. I wanted to fight. Right, I'm ready now, let me fight. But it's not always it's not like that. I was young, I was 12 by then. I needed that time to be in the gym and get the bit of experience that I needed, and then go for the fight. The first fight was up in Northampton. Northampton. A boxing lad who had 2, won 1, lost 1, and I got the win. It went from there.
One thing that I remember when I walked into the gym and we first started training together was how approachable you were, and how much of a mentor you were, even at such a young age, to the really younger kids in the gym. And that experience took you through just to obviously when you eventually left Lucy and you carried on boxing. But for those that didn't know, with your amateur career, how far did you go in your amateur career before you turned pro? What were the heights of your career? Because I know you box some pretty big names out there right now.
Yeah, even from my early days, I just said there about my first fight in Northampton. Well, 2 fights after that, still 12 years old. I boxed Billy Joe Saunders.
Amazing, Billy Joe Saunders.
He's a world champion now, and a former Olympian. That's just one of them. I never knew nothing about Billy Joe. I know now, at the time of trainers, they were experienced people, they knew exactly what they were doing. They were going to pull me out because I had Billy Joe Saunders, and had I beat him, I would have had his brother in it. Fred Owens was the 2 best boys in the country. Both of them had 30 odd fights, won 28 at least each. Both turned out to be national champions, won tournaments, every tournament that they went into. I was just unlucky that they were both my weight. I boxed a lad when I got to the national under 20 fights at 17. They changed the ruling to accommodate Amir Khan being able to go to the Olympics.
Right.
I lost to another decent lad who boxed for England, Ricky Rose, in the week before the senior championships. I was still a junior at that point. Ricky Rose is a professional fighter now. He's a good fighter. I lost that fight at one point, not a lot in it, and then I decided, I want to go.
That was going to be my next question. What was the catalyst that made you decide to turn pro in the end? Was it always a dream of yours?
It was all I think every boxer, well, definitely for me anyway. Once I started, I found something that I love to do. Like I was boxing. That's every kid's dream. You want to turn professional one day. That was my dream. I wanted to turn professional. That was the biggest dream. And then the titles. I want to be a British champion. I want that beautiful belt. And I want to go like world titles. I believe myself. Anything, I could do anything, which is what boxing gave me. And boxing. I got to at a 17-year-old. I got to the national finals, and I was. An experience. I'm still growing, but I'm trying to hold my body back so I can make weight. That involved doing some crazy things, man, like sleeping in tracksuits to make the weight. I was training 3 times a day, sleeping in sweatsuits, and just not taking in water, not looking after my body. As boxers, however long the fight lasts, sparring, fights. We smash our bodies to pieces. By doing them things like hydrating, we need to look after our bodies. If you haven't got your health, like people die in boxing, that's the reality of it.
And it just goes to show people from the outside looking in. You know, they don't see this sort of thing. They just see the boxer making their way to the ring, winning the fight, and then promoting the next fight. But a lot of people don't really see the ins and outs and the hard graft and what boxers really have to go through. And speaking for yourself, I mean, I know that because I was in Nottingham at the time when I heard you was turning pro, and so we didn't see each other as much then. But obviously, I was so interested in how your career was going to go because obviously I've been in the gym with you for so long. But I mean, what was it like approaching your first fight? Was the pressure any different, or was it a Liquid that fight? Your first fight?
That's 2009. So I turned professional when I was 18, and I had my professional fight was 3 days after my 19th birthday. Wow. So it was a great birthday present. The nerves was there because I've trained for a certain style of fighter who I knew. It was Delroy Spencer. He was if you know your boxing, he's fought anyone, everyone, every level. Didn't always win, but he said he was going to be there. He turned up and give you a help. He was going to be my opponent. The morning of the fight, or late the evening before, opponents changed. No longer fighting Delroy. I'm fighting.
And this is the morning of the fight.
Morning of the fight.
So all that preparation and training you've been doing.
6 months training.
To find out on the night of the fight that you're not fighting anymore.
I'm fighting completely. Delroy is 5 foot 5. He's a little bit shorter than myself. So that's the style I've prepared for. I've been told the morning of the fight I'm fighting this Russian kid or wherever he's from, I don't know. Yeah. He was taller than me, 3 weights heavier than me. I was super bantamweight and he was super featherweight. At first, straight away, the bottle was like, uh-oh, what have I done? I'm on the phone to my trainer, he's stitching me up, what are you doing? What are you doing? I know myself, I'm fit. I've done the graft in the gym. My trainer said, it's great, you've done everything. I would put you in there if I didn't believe in you, which is at the time what I needed to hear. So I turned in, I could see the size difference, but at that point, the fight had started. I remember going out there, being wary of him, not doing what I've trained to do. I've got to throw one punch, waiting to see what's coming back. He's throwing 3, and I'm like, welcome to professional boxing, mate. Get down, bite that gum shield, and get on with it. And then, after that, having the corner around me and the team around me, there's no way he was beating me that day. No way.
So you won that fight, and your career got off to a good start.
Yeah.
But it was only one professional fight you ended up having, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So what actually happened after that fight that made you eventually retire? What happened throughout that period?
Where I've been involved in boxing from a young age, my life was completely boxing. Schoolwork started to slip. That was important. I was going to be a world champion, and that was that. So being in the gym, the training camps, building up to fights, it was great having all them people around me, but I felt once that fight had gone, I was forgotten. like what win, lose, it doesn't matter. Like no one cared about me. I just felt so alone, which I became depressed and like in a bad place. I'd never had time out of boxing before, but I understand why. We need, like I said, we smash our bodies to pieces. We need that time to recover. But I've never experienced that before. No, please don't let me have that time off. It was explained to me why I need to have the time off. But that time off done me. Like, I'm still on my week off now from 2009. Wow. That's not what happens with everyone. This is just what happened with me. I was like the depression really got to me then, and the lifestyle changed completely. Like, I didn't want to be around people. Like I was feeling comfortable, like I was in the gym, but when I was in my own space, in my own room, not talking to anyone. I could be in a room crowded with 1,000 people, but I'll be by myself. That's how I felt. But yeah, the depression, it just took over.
Was there anyone at the time that you thought you could talk to that helped you, got you out of it? Or, I mean, I can't really imagine how bad it was, but I mean, it's not the first time I've heard this about boxers going through depression, and but nobody really sees it. Like I said earlier, they don't see it, and you know, those times must have been really difficult, man. Like without putting into words, explaining about. Your trainers and your coaches, I'm sure that they were trying to reach out to you.
I had my trainer who, like, I see him now as one of my best friends. He genuinely, he was there for me when things was really bad. He was the one that was there, like, seeing me at my worst. And there's people in the gym, you know yourself, like the different characters in boxing. You've got the ones you can call all the names under the sun, and that inspires them. And you've got the other lad who just needs an arm around them and come on mate, like, you're doing alright. I was one of them, but I didn't want to show I was one of them. I didn't want to talk to people. I don't know if it was ego thing. I can't tell you how I feel because you think I'm
this and that.
I knew I could talk to them, and I'd wait right until things got really, really, really bad, and then I'd talk to them. But it was often too late. I've already done what I wanted to do. But I see it now. Going through it, I had my family there, like my trainer. That's my team. My team was there. I was not talking. I was not accepting of my feelings. And if I weren't accepting it, how can I explain to you? Like people were saying, "Hey, you'll be alright. You'll be alright in a couple of days," but it never was.
So eventually, you ended up retiring. That must have been one of the most difficult decisions you ever had to make. Like growing up in the sport that you love, and like you said, wanting to be a world champion since you was young. To accepting that you're going to have to retire. I mean, how difficult was that?
When I had that time off, and like say 6 months later, I knew I'm never going to fight. That's me. Like, that's what I believe. But in my head, I was still going back, trying to do the training camps, sparring other lads that are still like carrying on.
Because I know the fighter in me as well, and like deep down, I know sometimes even when you were doing the sparring, you must have thought to yourself when you left the gym, I can still do this. Like I've still got more than enough in the tank. I won my first professional fight, and I can get back into this. So I'm sure that must have crossed your mind at some point.
Like sparring the lads and helping them and watching them achieve what they're set out to achieve. I knew I could still do it. I could still compete there, but I couldn't do the training camp. And unfortunately, you can't just turn up and fight. If you can, you're one off. My mind wasn't there. Like I'd go to the gym, but I'd be worrying about other things.
Was it even things like ticket sales and
like ticket sales wasn't really a problem for me. Like I was like very lucky that my fight happened to be in Lowdown, which is like where I've lived my whole life. Ticket sales, I could sell tickets, I could put on a show, I could do all of that stuff. The problem was just yeah, it's inside me. Just like the loneliness of what like the sport I chose to do left me.
Yeah, very difficult, man. And I know since you retired, I mean, how has everything been since then? Because it was a while back.
Yeah.
Did you want to go back into boxing at some point?
Yeah, I tried so many times to get back into it. Like as things got better, right, I know what I do. I'll go back and I'll fight. Even the last comeback, like there's so many, man. I've had more than Sinatra.
Yeah.
Yeah, even before Christmas, I was right. Things are good. Start training. Hooked up with my old trainer, James Paisley. He completely under. He's been with me the whole way through everything. He didn't put pressure on me to train. It was like something. We'll give it from, I think it was September till Christmas. We'll give it just like see how it goes, and then if you want it, then we'll start making steps forward after Christmas, which would have been January. Going to training, I felt alright when I got there. When I was training, I was starting to get into half decent shape again. But yeah, it felt like a chore, like waking up in the morning thinking, got to go back, got to go. It weren't there. And then we had a chat like before Christmas, and he said, look, I don't think it's right, which was, he's 100% right. It weren't there. Like I said before, the reality is people get seriously hurt. I can't commit 99% is not enough. It's got to be
100%.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So I mean, that must have been finally realising that that this is it for me in terms of my career. What is it that you do now? I mean, I know that you've been around and done some public speaking before.
Yeah.
And I think that's that's an amazing thing to do.
Yeah.
Considering what you went through. Could you just elaborate more on that for the people that don't know?
Look, I believe now, like, if people can relate to how I feel, we've got something in common. If I can use my experience to help that person, then that's exactly what I've got to do. It's very selfish of me to grow and get better and not help the person that's like going through the suffering like I did. If I'm a person who's approachable, like you said. If anyone can relate, like get in contact. Life today by doing them things that's what I need to be doing. Like I started going back to the gym, coaching at weekends. And
Popper Ring Gym?
That's at Popper Ring Boxing Club, my local club. The guys down there, you've got Matty, girls, all the lads down there, Alan Baptiste, there's some great people down there who see me struggle, but they're still there as well. They don't turn their back on me, I turn my back on them. Going back, we're just seeing all the different lads in the gym, how far they came since I've been away. It just shows me it's a great sport.
It's a great sport, yeah, absolutely. And where have you done your public speaking before? I mean, have you?
I go
just with the lads in the gym. I mean, spoke to a few other. I mean,
I go with my friends. We go to a couple of meetings for people who suffer like I've suffered. And sharing our experience of what we've been through, we can help each other. Because there's always someone in there who's going through what I went through. Or what someone else, not necessarily me, but by us all coming together and talking about it, there's a hope there. There's hope that things will get better. They have for me. I'd be lying if I sit here and said by going to them places and doing the things outside of boxing that I do, my life hasn't improved.
Well, if there was somebody that's watching this video now that's going through a similar sort of thing that you went through when you was a professional, or they could be an amateur going through, what you went through. What advice would you give them?
For me, doing the things that I didn't want to do, like talking to people, then I might not know what to say. I might not even talk about what I want to talk about, but just being around other people and realising it's not just me that has these issues. There's so many people I believe I'm different, but I'm not. Like, I have thought, I feel lonely some days, I feel sad other days, I feel happy other days. So do other people.
Yeah, of course.
Like,
Yeah.
I'm not no different. So like by reaching and thinking about what can I do to help that person? I can see me struggling, I need to go and help him. Doing them things, it stops me thinking of me, which is something I do a lot. It takes me out of myself, and thinking of other people is just that's what's got me through.
It's a great thing that you're doing, man. And like I said, since I was younger, man, we've just connected in that gym. And you know, if guys want to reach out to you, like, you can let them know where they can find you.
Yeah,
I'll be in Hopper Ring Gym, but
I'm down. If you're local or if you're not local, I'll be in Hopper Ring Gym Saturday mornings at 11 o'clock. I'm on Facebook, Blaine Courtney. Anywhere, just not necessarily me. You can talk to me, I'm here, but we've got lads in the gym, people that you feel comfortable with, the trainers. Like everyone, you're not alone, man. Boxing is that we as people we think we are, but
there's a lot of people out there to support.
I know you. We went to school together, man. I know from school, from the gym. I could always come to you, and
it's crazy, man. Go back a long way, man. But
still remember the spots when you knew that, man.
Listen, there was the one punch that I've told everybody that hurt me the most, more than any other punch. It wasn't in the head. It wasn't in the head. It was to the body. Got a left hook to the body at the end of the round, and I didn't want to show Blaine that I was hurt, but I was like folded up. My body was folded. And after the sparring session, I said to him, "Look, man, you got me good with that left hook to the body." So I'm sure anyone that's been in the ring with Blaine will know that this guy could crack, man.
I was thinking to myself, about the tough people that I've sparred for, and what defines a tough person. Like, for me, they could be, I box very skillful fighters, but they just haven't got the toughness so I could walk through them. But a lad like yourself, when I used to spar you, I'd hit you and I'd not know I'd hurt you. I would never have known. There was no nothing on your face to be like, oh, that was all. You just carry on walking, and when you're doing things it breaks your heart. And I think this gives with everything, and he's walking forward,
carrying on.
And that's I think boxing is it's like the hair on the tortoise or whatever.
Yeah, it is for sure.
Sometimes you let people give you your all. Right now, I'm ready now. I took the best. Now it's my turn.
It's all about keeping a poker face, man. That's one of the first things I was told when I got in the gym. It's like, just keep a poker face. Don't let them know you're hurt. And that time I was hurt. I was hurt bad. But yeah, I managed to pull through that round, man. I remember just seeing people being dropped before with that body shot you did. And yeah, man. I mean, listen. I look at things like everything happens for a reason, and you know, you're doing great things as of right now, man. You are, and you know, I'm here for you all the way, man. I'm sure I'm here for you all the way. So listen, I don't want to take too much of your time now. I appreciate you coming on, speaking to us, and letting people know just the insights as to what it's really like being a professional boxer and what this game is really like. You know, I remember seeing an interview with Amir Khan. It was like years ago after we fought. He won the fight, and you know, he just gave an insight as to saying people don't know what we really go through, and you know, especially with social media nowadays and the sort of criticism and the memes that come out and everything else with boxers, but people don't really see what goes on behind the scenes, man.
Boxing's not just turn up, fight, done. Yeah. It's not like that, man. It's weeks, it's months, it turns into years of isolated training, going away from your family to do a training camp, all for the last minute. Like I was lucky that I fought, lucky or unlucky, I haven't decided yet, but some people would go away for months, away from their loved ones, staying in a nice little hotel, whatever it is, and then on the morning of the fight, the geezer hasn't got the flight and the fight's off.
That sort of thing's real. That thing does happen.
You don't fight, you don't get paid. You'll still have to get paid. Life still happens. It's not just one night, there's so much more behind the scenes, which, like Muhammad Ali said, man, that the fight's won or lost. Like, by preparation, long before you go and dance under them lights, like, everything happens behind the scenes. The 45 minutes for a 12-round fight, that, or however long you fight, that's just to finish it up. That's putting into practice everything's
Just
done.
the last bit of the puzzle, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Amazing, man. Wow. Well, I'm glad you came on today just to let us know.
Yes, no, thank you for having me, man. Thank you for HQ as well for letting us use the premises.
No doubt.
Yeah.
No doubt. Thank you guys for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, The Boxing Lowdown, and there'll be more videos and podcasts coming your way. So make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Thank you again to Blaine for tuning in, and we'll catch you guys on the next one.